Hello, Bella Vista. This is JB Portello. Welcome to In the Know. This program is produced after each monthly board meeting to give you a summary of the topics and the events going on at the Property Owners Association. In addition, these episodes are posted on the Facebook pages of the POA as well as the Bella Vista Community TV station. So sit back and enjoy being in the know. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's JB Portello here with another version of In the Know. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and welcome Tom Judson. Hey, Tom.
How are you today?
Well, I am happy because it's cold, but not quite as cold as it's going to be this next weekend, I understand.
This is true.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to let you get started.
Well, I want to kick it off. I want to remind everybody about the new Bella Vista app, their phone app. And they can go to the Apple Store or Android and do a search, type in My Bella Vista, and you'll find the app, download it. It's got great information on how to get to all the different amenities, classes that are coming up, fitness classes that are coming up, just a wealth of information. So we're continuing to try and push that information out and get as many people signed up as possible.
And that's great because, you know, it's all about educating and getting information out there. So I'm excited.
Great. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, so the board had a meeting on the 28th. And at that meeting, representative from the election committee nominated or put forth the candidates that are going to be running for the board of directors. And that information is going to come out this Friday on the newsletter. Just want to remind everybody to mark down on their calendar that March 16th via Zoom at 6 p.m. We're going to have the Meet the Candidates meeting. The election begins on April 13th. So you'll see the ballots come out at that time. And then the annual meeting, which is the end of the election, is May 18th. So I want to just make sure everybody stays involved and informed and participates. That's important.
Okay, let's talk about something that's kind of been out there a lot recently, and the board heard and answered the request of the residents, the mini golf spots.
So that's pretty exciting that we've been purchasing the new mini golf equipment. Now, what we're going to do is right now we have two rundown mini golf courses, one at Metfield and one at Kingsdale, right next to Reardon and so forth. They're both in bad shape. The one at Metfield is in worse shape. So we're actually going to permanently close the one at Metfield, and we're going to put all our resources to the one at Kingsdale. And we already have all the features in, all the fun stuff that you can do with mini golf. And we hope to open up in the spring at Kingsdale with a fully renovated mini golf course that'll be a lot of fun to use.
Yeah, it will. I mean, will there be like reservations for that, like always, or just first come, first serve?
It's first come, first serve, and it's free of charge. So you can't beat that.
No, and a lot of folks were saying they really enjoyed doing that with their grandkids when they came to visit. So
absolutely,
I'm excited. Thank you for listening. There
you got it. You got well. It came through the recreation committee. You can actually go back and read the minutes and so forth, and you can see how they've been working on this, and it was part of the budget process. And so it's when we're all done, we're going to have a mini golf course that we can be very proud of.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, something else I'm pretty proud of and can't wait for, and that's the expansion of the Highlands Pub and Patio. I guess that's the new name, Highlands Pub?
Yeah, we really enlarged the patio there. So now it has a fantastic view of the green and the lake and the pond right there. It's just going to be wonderful. We've added sound to it. And then to the interior, we've added a brand new pool table, a shuffleboard table. We added additional dartboards and a whole bunch of additional TVs so you can watch all your sports teams. So we're really making it a fun place, a fun neighborhood bar to go to. And we're offering additional food offerings. We're actually cooking the food over at Lake Point, bringing it over in a hot box, and then serving it there. So we're not opening up the kitchen or anything like that. I mean, we're using portions of the kitchen, but we want to try and have some additional offerings, food offerings for our clientele up there.
Well, I went in there the other day, and it was really good to see Debbie and everything that was going on. It I understand too that Debbie's working on new drinks that are kind of Scottish in mind, other than Scotch, and also working on getting a little bit more upgraded wine list. So that makes me happy.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
And I understand too, and maybe I'm wrong, but that the deck, because it's outside, that people that can walk up there and they have their dogs, and if the dogs are nice and behave, that they can actually sit by the table outside. So we could be a little bit more European, continental, or whatever. So that sounds really fun. I can't wait because I can walk to the Highlands pub.
Very
And
good.
yeah, so
Walk there and stagger back.
well, or run or whatever. Anyway, very good stuff. But now that's not all you're doing. You've also expanded the deck at Scottsdale. Is that right?
Yeah, we that's another location that's been very popular. So we substantially expanded the deck there. Also overlooks a pond. Pond overlooks the golf course. Another great location to go out. Allison and I, we go out there on a semi-regular basis just to get a beer and just to look at the golfers having fun out there, and it's just a very enjoyable environment.
Yeah, it's a beautiful overlook. I remember when we had the garden party there, and it's just gorgeous to look
You
out.
got to get there more often.
Yeah, absolutely. Another really hot topic, especially for dog lovers, I believe, is the replacement and expansion of the small dog park. Is that right?
So if you recall, we had that flood, and it completely wiped out the old dog park, and the trees that were providing protection along the creek are now gone. So we anticipate, unfortunately, that if we were to place the dog park in the exact same location, it would just get blown out at some point in the future. So we actually located the dog park a little bit further down the path. It's going to be about twice the size of the old one. Hopefully won't get flooded. We don't think it's going to get flooded in that location. The fencing is up. The sod is going to be going down pretty soon. We're going to have to let the sod knit down and grow into the ground. And so we anticipate we'll open up in the spring once that sod is really attached itself.
So the large dog park stays the same?
The large dog park got a little bit of damage from the flooding, but it remained relatively unscathed. So that's going to stay where it's at, and then the small dog park will be if you're facing it, will be to the right.
Okay. Well, I know that a lot of people are going to be happy about that for sure.
Absolutely.
Apparently you're repainting some of the golf course restrooms. Where and what's happening there?
Well, those are all the out bathrooms that are on the golf courses, and they needed some love. Some of them were in not at the best of shape, so we're painting the outside in some cases, painting the inside. We're adding heating and air conditioning units so you don't freeze or bake when you go in there to use the restroom. And we're adding water and ice coolers to most of them. I can't remember if it's all of them or most of them, but we're adding ice and water coolers, dispensers, so you can safely and sanitarily get ice and water while you're on the golf course. And then we're going to have the controllers for the heat and the air conditioning kind of in a location where nobody can get to them. Because what happens is people start adjusting the temperature. And so it's interesting that if you can get to the temperature and if it's cold out, someone will turn up the heat. It's cold inside, they turn the heat all the way to the top. Next person comes in 20 minutes later, it's really hot. They turn it off, it gets cold and goes back and forth, back and forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to have those controlled centrally, so you don't have to worry about someone turning it up. I'll turn it all the way down.
Gotcha. So are you saying that these are all golf courses that this is happening? Or
Yeah, we're
okay.
doing it as all the golf courses, that all the ones that need the work. And this came through the golf committee. They've been talking about it for a while, about the need to improve the look of the bathrooms and to upgrade them.
Well, that ought to make a bunch of golfers happy.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Did we have any celebrating success this last time?
we sure did. We sure did. So we did a team success one, and it was member services. And Carmen Dissing, the manager of the department, recommended them. And it was just for their efforts throughout the entire year. I mean, COVID hit member services probably more than any other department. And they had to close their doors, so they have to reimagine their operation. And we're taking care of people. We're doing a great job online and via phone. On top of that, they had a 40% increase in the number of activity cards purchased and a 112% increase in the number of guest cards issued.
Yeah.
So they were extremely busy during a COVID year and having to adapt and everything. So it was very challenging, and they rose to the occasion. So we wanted to celebrate their efforts.
I think we all learned a lot, even though COVID was a bad thing. We all learned new and creative ways of doing things, and they're no different. And they're always polite, and they always try to help.
Absolutely. They're a great team, and we're very proud of them.
Yes. Well, I understand you have some really big news about the Bella Vista Country Club.
Yeah. So this was took a while to get this done, and Judy on our team was the champion of this. But the Bella Vista Country Club was recently named to the National Register of Historic Places. And so, if everybody remembers, the building was designed by Ife Jones, and he founded the University of Arkansas School of Architecture. Very well-known architect. And the building is something that we're very, very proud of. And we're going to have one of those plaques out front.
You know what? It was on Facebook the other day. Somebody complimented you all about the addition of the portico outside.
Mhm.
Um, that how well it matches and actually didn't take away from, doesn't look any different at all. So good job there for sure.
You mean you didn't like the canvas cover with the mold on it?
No. But apparently, was there a fountain or something there at one time? Somebody said they were missing the fountains. Do you?
I have never heard of a fountain being out there. It's possible. I mean, the building was open in 67, 68, something of that nature. So it's possible that there may have been fountains, but I've never heard of it.
Well, I hadn't either, but some folks have been around a long time, and they said they mentioned in a cool way that they missed the fountains. Okay, well, that is such good news. It really is. I think we have one more thing maybe to talk about, the Metfield connector.
Yeah, so it was about this time last year that we were originally talking about the Metfield connector, and fast forward 12 months later, and we're getting close to having that done. The city's been working really hard on this, and so kudos to the city, and the Trailblazers have been working on this. And the latest report I have received is that it should be fully complete by May of this year. Now, with COVID, who knows? Maybe we might get further delays, but we're very optimistic that by May we'll have use of the entire stretch, all the way from Blowing Springs Park up to Metfield Park.
I walked that not too long ago, and it's mostly finished. And what is finished is amazing. I think they ran into some drainage problems or something that has postponed it a little bit. But it's going to be fabulous for little kids to be able to go to school that way, to visit their grandparents. I mean, it's just another fabulous thing that we have here in Bella Vista.
Absolutely. Well, and the drainage was originally part of the plan. I think that a significant portion of the entire budget is actually dedicated to drainage.
Ah,
So I think that's going to really make it much more efficient in that area when we get the heavy rains. So it shows the effort to not only just put in a path, but do it right, have the proper drainage, and let's get that water going in the right direction, as opposed to how it in the past really flooded the area and caused damage.
absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we sign off and go to our other guest today?
No, I really appreciate your time.
Well, it's always a pleasure, and I will look forward to seeing you again next month.
We'll see you later, JB.
Bye. Hi there, we're back, and my next guest today is Leslie Terry. And Leslie is the merchandising manager at the POA. Hi,
Yes, ma'am.
Leslie.
How are you?
I am great. I'm not sure we've ever met in person, but someday we will.
I think you've come through the pro shop right before we opened it over here at the country club. I think you and your
Yeah.
husband walked through. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? We don't know a lot about you. So can you tell us about, how long you've been here, your background, where you came from, all of that?
Sure. This April will be 4 years that I've been here at Bella Vista. Originally from Houston. That's where I worked and grew up. Was around working in San Antonio, Austin, Sugar Land, and down in South Houston. And then really, I ran the PGA Pro-Am events for the Houston Open. So that got a lot of exposure and merchandising experience there, running tents and events down there.
You're speaking my language. I'm from Houston, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Go Texas.
exactly.
Anyway, I'm glad I'm here now. Bella Vista is a beautiful place. And
Absolutely. Traffic is a lot less than Houston.
no kidding. No
Yes.
kidding. Well, you know what? Merchandise options. Tell me, how has that changed, and how do you go about choosing the options for your merchandise?
I first got here. I spoke to many of the members, and then some of the members sought me out, and told me what they were looking for in the pro shop. Price is always one of the factors here, and bringing fashion. I mean, you can still do fashion with a budget. Um, you know, as you can see, this year there's going to be more prints. There were prints last year, but more prints, and you can go crazy prints, or you can go really subtle prints within the tops. Now they're extending them into the hats. So you can, pull together a traditional outfit with a little spice, with a fashion print. So.
What do you mean by prints? I mean, I see some things there in your background. You want to talk about those?
Oh, so that's a T-shirt that we came up with. I did the design that has all our amenities on the T-shirt and calls out. We did that as a kind of a souvenir T-shirt, and some of the people that came back and visited really appreciated it. I brought some new hats. So kind of talking about the Highlands new logo. We have one for the golf. So we brought Mr. Mulligan back into the logo. He's now part of the I in Highlands. But, this hat, I know it's hard to see, but it's one of the examples where you can kind of see it's a golf camo pattern. So we're excited about all the new stuff coming in. Of course, with COVID, has presented challenges not only for us, but also to our golf merchandise companies. It's a lot of decisions that were made back in March of 20 are affecting us now because they look a year ahead. So when some of the country was shut down, they made decisions on where we are today. So one of my top ladies brands. Usually I have 3 fashion options for my spring summer collections. This year I only have 1.
Oh.
So we're going to have to be a little creative on options and what we bring in. Patience wise, when we do special orders, we used to get shoes in 4 days, and now it's 2 weeks. So it's been everyone has to have a little patience and understanding. So
So when you say, let's talk about the women's in particular a little bit, well,
Mhm.
both really. But
Sure.
so when you say options, do you mean like colors or styles or what?
It just, instead of having three different color stories to pick from, we have one. So I will have to build it in different ways because our shops kind of carry, different collections at different times. So we'll have to, look for some other options, whether it's from different vendors or expanding collection different ways.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And you did I hear you say you do special orders
We
or
do, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
okay. So
Anything we can get our hands on, we can special order. Yes,
gotcha.
absolutely.
Okay.
If you have that weird 14 narrow shoe, we can order it.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Good
Hmm.
to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I am really glad to talk to you today. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
We are putting Hillary and I down at Tanyard are putting the final touches on our calendar of fitting days. We are not going to be hosting Golf Fest, which usually happen the first part of April, where there's a big demo day. With COVID, we have to keep social distancing in mind. So last year we flipped it to fitting days with a particular vendor. I think we'll have over a dozen dates set, and it will be appointment only. And like I said, we'll put the schedule out probably in the next 10 days. So everyone
Okay.
will know when those vendors will be visiting Bella Vista.
All right. Well, hey, all great news.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
thank you for being my guest, and
Thank
someday
you.
I will wave at you in person.
Absolutely. Please do.
Okay,
Thank you.
you bet. Bella Vista, I'd like to just talk to you for just a moment. To me, it is so important to continue to be in the know about what happens around the community, and so many things happen. I mean, we have in the know, we have board meetings. The all of the board meetings are on Facebook, but they're also on Bella Vista Community TV. We put them up on our webpage there. But I want to just share something with you today or brag on the POA just a little bit. Every one of us, get this. It's probably going to read backwards, and I'm sorry. But this little brochure that comes with your water bill every month is incredible within the information it holds. There's ads, of course, but also there's all kinds of information. See, the Highlands Pub is featured on this last one. Um, there are news. There's another thing I like. I think that the POA and the city, I know they work together, but this is really cool too. There's a whole section in here on the city. So thank you, POA, for publishing that. And that goes out in everybody's water bill. So even if you're not a Facebook person or you really have an issue or don't know how to get to the website, you can get so much information out of the Connect or Connections, Bella Vista Connections. So that's all I have for today. It's always nice to see all of you, and we will be talking next month. Enjoy your day.